That's the singing in Dune, the movie.
It's not the singing and doing. It's throat music. It's
a little-
Mongolian throat
Mongolian throat
It's
music.
a little joke about how you might want to start the podcast. Instead of being ladies and gentlemen, and Adam. He's his own gender. The ladies,
Adam?
not a gentleman.
music. Do you identify as a different gender?
No, but it was just this time.
What do you identify as?
Come on.
Are you really a man though, or are you a fish?
Are you a gay fish?
Well, I'm not gonna answer that. I'm a man. No more answers after
Why
that.
would you? Hold on. Why would you not answer that? Why would you just not
Bro,
say?
it's so funny because you told
no.
him to lift his chair, and he looks like a giant compared to you because
Yeah.
you're down.
I'm a little.
It looks so funny right now.
I'm also congested today, so if my voice is a little nasally, I apologize.
Lift your chair a bit.
Yeah, does it lift? No, it won't go more.
Oh, this is so funny.
Yeah, Adam, do you have a really hairy ass?
All right, we're starting
Do
things
you
off.
really
right.
think the public wants to know these things?
Yes.
Well, hold
Well,
on.
I
I will
don't
say
wish
something.
the public to know those questions.
Well, they don't wish to know them. Like they don't stay up at night hoping to find out.
They do.
They
I receive messages on a regular basis.
I mean, they guess. They got theories.
They know I have a hairy throat. That should be a hairy chest.
A hairy throat.
A hairy chest. Excuse me.
Hairy chest.
You have what they call a hairy Krishna.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Because you must have like a lot of diarrhea because of what you eat. Do you
It's embarrassing, but yes.
do you wipe for like 45 minutes at a time?
No. I wipe a little bit longer, but
A little bit longer?
Then 45.
Damn.
not than that amount. Than the average person.
How do you know how much the average person wipes? Like, why are you even paying attention to people wiping?
Well, because the average person doesn't have it.
Diarrhea?
From the point of view of yeah.
Hairy asses? Why
I never
can't
even started the show and saying intellectuals in, by the way.
Intellectuals in.
Adam's hairy ass? Yeah, it's piqued my curiosity because you do take abnormally long sometimes. I'm like, there's no way you're
Well, guys,
shitting.
Let me come clean and tell you this. I went and got those tests done at the CLSC.
Oh yeah.
But I have to get in touch with I forgot what the term is, internal medicine doctor who recommended those tests get done. I don't know correct me if I'm wrong, but the normal procedure is your doctor sends you to get tests done, and then he or she calls you back to say, okay, we'll go over the test. If your doctor doesn't call you, it's...
Well, no, they do call you and tell you if you're good. Like I did tests last week. They called me and they told me there's nothing wrong with you.
The issue, though, at my end is that it took me about 4 or 5 months to do them, so maybe they're like... If this guy wants to take his sweet-ass time, then
To do them or to take them? Like it took the tests ran for 5 months?
No. Sorry. We're in March. I was supposed to take them at the end of the summer, like October, November, and I took them 5 months later. So maybe my doctor's figuring, well, if,
That's not the end of summer. That's the end of fall.
okay, October, November, December, January. Fine. Let's say about 5 months after he gave them to me.
That's quite
Okay.
a amount of
So
time.
I don't know if maybe because I took them so much later that he's not getting back to me. I don't know. But I'll be getting in touch with him, so.
Is this blood tests?
Yes.
Bro, Adam, the only person to fail blood tests.
How you pull that off?
Bro. Come
Well,
on,
you
man.
could putting all jokes aside, I still don't know what the hell I have. I know Pantelis seems to
Wait,
know
hold
a thing
on.
or two
So
about
hold on.
medicine.
Because you lost me for a little bit. You did blood tests? Is that what I'm getting
My
at?
doctor, in order for me to know a little bit more about what my situation may entail,
Yeah.
he said, take some tests.
Okay.
Now, I'm the one who waited. I acknowledge. I waited 4 or 5 months. I got them done. I don't know. It's been a month. And he's supposed to get back to me, but he hasn't. So what he's thinking or not thinking is
And you did just blood or you did pee and poop?
just blood.
Just blood.
Yeah.
How many days ago?
Was done a month ago, maybe?
I mean,
That's
like
a
if
long
they're
time. I
gonna
mean, then how are they gonna find you, bro? You literally live in the boiler room. Sometimes you answer your phone. Sometimes you don't know for real.
yeah.
I'm sure they have my phone.
But you don't
They
always
have
answer
my
your
phone number because I made I made an appointment. I just realized I made an appointment with them.
Yeah, but how does that mean?
How did they get in touch with me to make an appointment?
You got in touch with them. They didn't just call you to make an appointment. You call them, right?
And the health
a good
system
question.
is so
Wait, no, you wanted the appointment. You said you want to see what's wrong with you.
It may have been a
Doctors
referral
don't
for-
randomly.
hold on. My
but doctors
family
don't
doctor found
I
this other
understand, but
doctor.
random doctors don't call you and be like, hey, let me ask you. You want a
No,
blood
I
test?
agree.
and that would be a vampire. And the health system is so overburdened that like if they don't have a number on file, they'll just like, well, fuck this guy and throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
What can I tell you? I'll get onto it. That's
10 years
I
later.
got a phone call from Stats. I got a phone call months and months ago. Did they ask you the same questions? What languages do you speak? What languages did you grow up talking and all that?
Not at all. They didn't ask me any of those. What they asked me was,
Oh.
they said, "Are you white, black, all that stuff?" And I said, "Prefer not to answer." Stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well, my questions were clear and they're nothing.
You could say
nothing
prefer not to
overly
answer.
personal.
Sir, are you white or black?
What
Well,
languages
I
did you
find that question very offensive, and
I find it misleading.
Well, let me ask you. Let me tell you what he asked me. What
and the
languages
person
did you
goes,
speak
"Okay,
when you
we
were a
know
kid?
what you are."
What languages did you speak when you were a kid? What languages do you speak to with?
You said I
to
still
your
speak
coworker?
retard.
I forgot that one. And then he asked me stuff about, do you watch videos in English and French and another language?
They didn't ask me any of that shit. That's funny. They asked me more
I
about
guess
taxes.
there's
and
more.
shit.
Really?
They didn't ask
Well,
me.
they know he doesn't pay taxes.
They did ask me my household allowance.
Did
I said I'm not going to speak on behalf of anybody
a
else.
lot
I
of
can
adults
give you
don't have an allowance? That's why.
household income. Excuse me.
Your household allowance.
You know
It's
what?
gonna turn
I should
into
have
that.
chosen not to answer, but they said, in your household, how many people are there? I said 2. Well, it's confidential. There's nobody. I'm not.
Well, it's confidential because technically you don't live in the house. You live.
You need to stop making reference to this boiler room. It's really becoming annoying. Okay.
Well, I
That
mean,
was how long ago?
I know, but it's not. I'm just saying that it's not a house technically, right? Or does it count as part of the house?
Listen, I'm not even gonna go there. Okay.
Okay.
I don't live there anymore, so it's irrelevant.
Now you live upstairs,
Yes.
same building.
Were you allowed to
Yes.
take your,
Okay.
your stuff under the other guy's stuff?
Oh yeah, what happened with that stuff? You never told us.
Yeah.
You said a guy stole your room basically, and you had stuff
It
still.
was
in there.
irrelevant because, as everybody knows, I was on house arrest, so I moved out of there. So it was. I didn't care what was going on there. I moved out of there.
Hey,
Answer the question. That's not what I
that's
said.
not the question I'm fucking asking you. You jag off.
the
When I
stuff
came
take
to
his stuff?
visit you in the boiler
Yes.
room,
Yes.
you had your stuff under some other guy's stuff.
Yes, he took it.
And
He
you,
stole your stuff.
I thought you asked me if the stuff that wasn't mine got taken away. Yes.
so you were able to collect your stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you asked me if that other guy who had stuff there, if it had gotten taken away.
No,
or
no.
not.
We're
you had
asking
some-
if your stuff was there. If you have your stuff, and the other question he was asking you was that when you were on house arrest, the reason why you moved out of the boiler room was because you needed an address, and the boiler room is not an apartment. So, which means that
Wrong.
Okay,
That's
go on.
very true, actually.
I
you
was
stupid idiot.
worried, or my mother and I collectively were worried that she didn't want to see her son go to jail, so she made it her business to make sure she's next to the phone. That's the main issue. That when they call you, you have to answer that phone. I don't
Yes,
care if you're
exactly.
sleeping or not. Has nothing to do with boiler room. No boiler room
Was there
stuff in there.
a
Stuff
hold
not in
on,
there.
hold on? Was there a phone in the boiler room?
As a matter of fact, no, there wasn't.
Exactly. That's what your mother was saying. That's what I'm trying to fucking tell you. Why are you playing these games?
I'm telling you that it's irrelevant.
It's
very
super relevant.
Whoa,
Because that's like
whoa.
saying, hold on. That's like saying you're in a gang. I want you out of the gang. I want to bring you here so you're safe. And you're like, it's irrelevant. They didn't want me out of the gang. They just wanted to keep me safe in their house. Yes, they wanted to keep you safe so you get the fuck out of the gang. Your mother knew that they need to call you every day. You have no fucking phone in a boiler room. The boiler room
But
has
you know
no
what
address.
you're forgetting? You know what you're forgetting? I was still on house arrest and moved back to that place.
Yeah.
So-
We don't care about the illegal shit that
Adam,
you've done that you
Adam,
should not be saying on a podcast.
There's no house line in the boiler
We
room.
got
Because
one.
it's not-
We got one.
You got a
the
house line in the boiler room?
Yes.
That's amazing, actually.
What? Who did this? MacGyver from
Well, the guy, because he didn't want him to go to jail. It's his fucking $40 a week here. He's a sweet
Anyway, let's
Adam
please change the
Cash.
subject, okay? All I wanted to say is, luckily,
You're the first
let's
person that
focus
probably
more on me
pays.
living with my mother,
That
okay?
probably sells his ass but pays for it. You're probably one of the few people.
You know, we
It
never
was
got
a-
to the bottom of, because we keep talking about other stuff with Adam and we never listened to it. So when Adam, he was trying to explain one day where he moved to, right? Like what's the difference, all that. And we never let him finish. We just kept jumping in and we never let him explain his
Oh, yeah.
living situation. Adam, what's the living situation?
now it's fine.
No, but what is it?
I rent a room. That's all I'm going to talk about on this podcast. Please, as a matter of principle of respect, you know.
You
I
rent.
don't-
But what? Hold on.
Yeah,
Pause.
what respect?
Pause.
What do you?
What does this have to do with respect of where you live and how you live?
Okay.
I will tell
the
you, I have an
person that I
apartment.
live with doesn't want this stuff discussed. It's that simple, okay? If I came to you and asked you a question, let's say, and your landlord says, I don't want you talking about me, you have every right
You're
to.
a loan shark.
I didn't say
Said his landlord.
Okay? Now I was.
Did he say loan
No,
shark?
I
No, he
never
said
said
loan
loan
shark.
shark.
Fuck.
That
Thank
was
you.
so funny.
Fuck, bro. That's what I heard.
When your loan shark says, "Don't go to the cops," you don't go to the cops. Adam, I don't think you understand. What he's asking you is not a personal question. He's not asking you how big your fucking boyfriend's dick is. What he's saying is, what's your living situation? You have a room? Where do you live? Is it you have
I
a
already answered
kitchen?
that. Yes, and yes.
So you're renting a room? Like what that means is like you're renting a bedroom, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a co-living situation, like a roommate.
Is his bedroom
Okay,
also,
so what's so hard?
Yeah.
Why do you have to make it sound like you're sex trafficking homosexuals? Why can't you just be straight and say what's happening?
Is his bedroom? Does his bedroom happen to be somebody else's bedroom as well?
Well, yeah, of course,
I'm
the house
not
isn't his.
Going there, please. Okay.
So you sleep in bed with somebody else?
Yes, but they're not. He already said this. He said they're platonic friends.
Oh man.
Show on the doll where he touches you at night.
No, I get why the guy wouldn't want this public. I wouldn't want. Dude, if I was sleeping every night with next to Adam, I wouldn't want people to know either.
How much of a shitty landlord are you, bro?
Actually, you must be the best landlord. Adam's like, I have no place to stay. He's like, I got you, buddy. That's actually
Oh
pretty
yeah, if you're a gay landlord, it's
good. No, not even gay. Just
the
imagine
best.
you and I even know where to go, and then your landlord's like,
And
"Bro,
by the way, I
got
don't
a
even
bed
know
for you."
why I'm bringing family-related situations into this. Okay.
What is family
He's
related?
not
I
family.
wanted to man up in terms of how the rest of my family foresees me and says, "Don't live with your mother anymore." So I managed to find a way, even
I'm
though
gonna live
the
with a
house
stranger
was-
man instead.
How old
It's
is
too
this man?
funny.
Okay, I'm not going to go into that.
Speaking to the
okay?
microphone.
Just say if he's in his 50s or
Doesn't
60s.
matter. Okay,
It matters.
doesn't matter.
It's very important.
I was
actually very
watching. You know what, guys? I was
Yeah.
watching a podcast. We were talking about Cat Spencer. He's got like a 4-minute podcast. Okay, and
He's a
and
4-minute podcast. Good for him.
And the interviewer asked him some questions, and he says, "I don't think I'm going to answer that." So he stood his ground.
What was the
I'm-
question? Are you aware people don't like you?
Something about something in his room. You know, is that simple?
Why
that
is there a bald podcaster living in your room? He's like, I don't want to
Is
answer
that why
that.
it's 4 minutes? Hold on, I gotta.
It's
I
a
gotta
good
go grab
podcast.
something.
Yeah. Adam, that is amazing. So, Adam,
Yes.
what'd you do this weekend? I know that your friend Guido, I know this because he sent me videos. He went singing. I have many videos on my phone right now of Guido doing karaoke with like 400 people just screaming, dancing,
I was not
checking
aware,
out
but
chicks' asses. It's the funniest video.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah. What did you do?
It was a quiet weekend. I mean,
You're not answering the
when
question.
someone stays home,
Right.
doesn't do anything. Okay, I usually visit my mother on weekends.
No, I'm saying, I don't care. Usually I'm saying this weekend. What happened? I'm having a conversation with you.
I went to see my mother.
Right? How was that? What happened?
Okay, how about this? If something is uneventful and there's not much to say, it's not a question of me wanting to dodge the issue or not dodging it. There's nothing else to say. I went to visit my mother, and that's it.
Okay, why are you acting so weird? You'd be like, I went to visit my mother. We talked about politics. We ate some cake.
I'd like to go into further detail, but there isn't much.
He's having a great time. Guido's living the dream. So Adam just told me that he went to visit his mother and he doesn't want to disclose more. He made it sound.
So why bring it up?
He made it sound more suspicious than it probably is.
So why bring it up?
There's a thing called courtesy, you know? Okay, I'm being courteous and I'm answering questions.
Courteous about what? What are you doing?
You're never courteous. Listen to this. What you do? Hey Adam, you want to talk? Sure. So what'd you do this weekend? I did stuff with some men. What kind of stuff? Okay, well that's personal. You make everything seem weirder than it is.
How are you ever gonna get promoted to a radio show host with this attitude?
Oh, that's a good question.
Huh?
How are you going to join Love on the Spectrum season 4?
I guess it won't happen then. I was never expecting it to happen, so.
Fuck, bro. You're like a piece of paper.
What does that mean?
I don't know, bro.
He's
Like,
going to get you wet and shred you.
no, like sometimes I want to insult him, but I don't know what to say. It just that's what comes out.
That's what Adam says.
Did you watch? There's a show on Netflix at the moment called Adolescence.
I was listening to comments about it on the radio.
What
it's 4 episodes, right?
Yeah, what
Apparently
did they say?
it's not. There was a caller who called in and said, there's nothing wrong with. He justified. He had a 13-year-old son that watched with him. It had to do with kids, right? Kids and their behavior. They didn't say what it was. What was it about?
It was
but-
about this British teen who stabbed a 14-year-old girl to death,
Yes.
if I understand correctly. And Netflix, doing what Netflix does, decided the real killer was a black kid.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we're making it white.
And in order to try and get away with it, what they said is inspired by true events.
That's fucking amazing.
instead of saying based on a true story.
And
What
it's
I
got
will
4
say though,
parts?
what I will
Was
say
it good?
though,
I don't want to watch it. I don't like seeing kids
look,
get molested.
I'll
and
say
shit.
something. The show, the way it was filmed, the acting, phenomenal. I'm serious. One of the best shows that have come out in a while.
Okay.
How long does it last?
Or anything cinematography, like with cinema related. You know what I mean? First of all, each episode is one continuous shot. There's no cuts.
Really, like a play.
Like a play. Continuous shot. They start somewhere and end somewhere. Which means they probably had to rehearse that 50 times. And every time they filmed and they made a mistake, they probably had to backtrack everything.
No, movie magic.
You think so?
I know so. Never trust the. Bro, Netflix just took a black kid, turned him into a white kid. Don't trust these people.
Where they probably did sneak in some cuts, it's probably in transitions.
Always.
Probably like if it films the ground, they'll transition, they'll take the next shot.
Yeah, that's why it's not a. Oh, if they're filming other stuff, that's what it is. The transition for sure. That's what a transition is. Transition.
So at least they made it seem
seamless.
Seamless.
Good for them.
But people are saying that it's one continuous shot, and even I checked, there isn't too many places they could have cut. So even if they cut 3 times, let's say in one episode, it's still impressive because you have 20 minutes of a continuous shot, which is unheard of. But they're saying the entire episode has been one continuous shot. So what do you think? You think it's movie magic, or you think they had to backtrack everything?
There's no way they backtrack everything. Like they don't have no. They're not in theater. They're not in Broadway. It's TV. But it's okay. But is it good?
It's very good. The acting is phenomenal.
Too aggressive for me. I don't like kids doing
How long
stuff.
does it last? What's the duration?
It's 4 episodes of an hour each.
I thought so. 4 episodes, yeah.
And but again, it bothered me that, and I felt hoodwinked a little bit because I watched. I'm like, oh fuck, this is fucked up. And then when it shows the pictures of the
real kids,
I go,
wait a second. Why? Like you had a good show. Why'd you clearly show us your political agenda?
It shows, it uses the pictures of the real kids, and the real kids are
the opposite,
black, not white. I go, but if this is inspired by true events, like why race swap like that?
It makes you angry, eh? It's like it's so stupid.
It's like, okay, we're not talking about like a fantastical, like I don't know, like a completely made up story like Training Day. You know what I mean? Where Denzel Washington
could be any color, it doesn't matter.
And it could have been any actor that plays that character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, it's so fucking retarded. Like let's say it's like taking Django.
But I play Django.
But you play Django.
People will be pissed.
It's so insanely retarded. It doesn't, like, I can't even begin to, like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy to just do that. Like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Historically, what has it been? Why not just do it that?
It's just what they've been doing.
Like Troy, bro. Like we have gay black samurais now in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, that's actually funny.
I don't think homosexuality existed in Japan back then.
Well, it existed.
It existed.
It wasn't cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it didn't last too long. You know what I mean?
It's not a phase, bro. That's just what they told you. You're gay.
You know, no, but what I'm saying is, if they caught you, you probably didn't last too long in Japanese society back then. And now they have a gay black samurai. He doesn't give a fuck. You don't care about what I'm saying.
I'm listening to every word.
He's super upset about what you're saying.
Okay. And like
just don't know anything about the subject.
They did have a black man that ended up in Japan, and that they really liked him a lot, historically.
No, it's not that they really liked him all. It's a whole other story, and it's very
whole
minimal.
Story.
That's why the government got involved. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I just want to understand the crux of what you're saying is you're just mad that the show kind of. You're like, oh, this is great acting. It's a cool story. I can't believe it really happened. And then when you saw what really happened, you're like, wait, so why are they trying to manipulate me?
Yeah. Or like
why are they trying to manipulate me thinking that white kids are the problem when black kids are the problem?
Or turning Snow White into black ice.
Yeah, it is weird.
You know, like there are certain things that I'll be honest, nationality, creed, and
Doesn't
race, it does not matter.
Pocahontas. It's all the same to me.
No, but for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But how the fuck you gonna have a show about the British Empire and the British royalty and they're black?
They do that now. There's a black wheelchair.
I know.
Yeah. It's funny.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. It's so insane. They don't even realize it. They don't even realize it, how insane it is.
Adam, do you see it as insane?
I don't know enough about.
You know what? I want them to make a biopic about Donald Trump and make him black. Ooh, people's heads are gonna melt with that one.
But he still has the same hair.
Yeah, and the same orange tan, the same orange hue is like.
He's just black orange.
But
he's like a Terry's chocolate orange.
But you can't really.
Guys, I actually.
But you hold on, you can't really tell, and you're like, does he have an orange hue on top of his skin?
Why are you racist?
And you're like,
He's just
what?
greased up. What do you want, Adam?
It's a conversation I would rather not have, but I kind of feel that I have no choice.
Yes.
Now, if I were to ask you, are you pro or against Donald Trump in terms of ideas? Are you pro or are you
Which
against?
ideas?
At the business level, how he runs the country.
No, listen to me. You can't ask that. That means that you're a retard. I am not globally
At the
for
business
or
level.
against anyone. The only people I'm completely against is if someone tells me, I don't know, Nazis, are you against? Not, but I'm not a for or against completely.
Fine. His economic policies in terms of
But which one? That's what I'm saying. Is it's so nuanced. These are important things that you need to have nuance.
Okay, okay.
I'll give you an
I see what you're
example.
saying. The
You
way
could be
he
like,
treats-
okay, I agree with the tariffs, but I don't agree with this. I agree with this. That's how you have to be.
The way he interacts with the country that we live in.
I don't like the way he interacts with Canada. That's true. I don't like the way he
thank you,
interacts
thank you.
with Canada.
Did you guys know that
However-
Rachel Smith made a deal with one of the states? She was the only person
You
that
mean
actually...
Daniel Smith?
Excuse me, it's Daniel Smith, yeah.
Yeah,
The premier,
so
you know?
good for
It's
her because she took
interesting.
care of her constituents because that's what a leader's supposed to do. I don't like the way Trump treats Canada, but what I don't like also is that Canada is refusing to admit the truth.
What truth is that?
Well, the reason why he's doing that, our leader that we had till recently, Justin Trudeau, was talking shit and ridiculing this guy for fucking a decade almost.
Oh yeah.
And then now he's surprised that when the guy's in charge, he's going to return the favor. That I don't like. I don't like the guy who punches you in the face repeatedly, and then the second you smack him back, he's like, "Why are you being a bully?" And that's what we look like right now. We look like bitches because of Trudeau. They at the G8, he was with all the other, but they were laughing at the Trump, and he was talking shit about Trump, and everyone could see it, you know. And then now Trump said he doesn't forget that kind of shit. He always gets his revenge. Yeah. So then we're shocked. We have to admit that. That's what I don't like. Is that everyone just wants to be treated golden all the time, no consequences for their actions. There should be no consequences. We shouldn't have any consequences the way we act, and it's not our fault. I'm telling you, it's not me and you. It's the leader. I would prefer that Canada and the U.S. have complete free trade. That's what I would prefer. It's good for Canada. For the States, it doesn't really matter because of the market. But for us, it'll be good. And we're good friends. We're longtime friends. But
Which we had, right? I heard Trump signed an agreement 10 years ago.
everyone signed an agreement. We've always had agreements, U.S. and Canada.
But now he wants to change it, right?
Yes, but he wouldn't have wanted. He's just a fucking. He would have been just a cool fucking weirdo. But our leader decided to talk so much shit, thinking this guy's never getting reelected. And then that's what happened. He fucking he wrote a check that his ass couldn't cash, and we're paying for it. But in the media, they're not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you Trump out of nowhere. We don't know why. Trudeau's so nice to him.
You know what pisses me off about that? When Trump hit us with the tariffs, people are he's evil. No. China hit us with 100% tariffs, bro.
Yeah, I know. And we hit China with
Not a peep.
Bro,
from
China,
anyone.
dudes. Everyone right now was booing the Americans because of the tariffs, which they're allowed to do. It's their fucking country. If they don't want, like I think we're better off free trade. But if they don't want, fuck it. They don't want. I'm not gonna force someone. Someone doesn't like you, you can't have sex with them, bro. That's just the way it is. But China murdered 4 Canadian citizens last week. You know that, right?
No.
You didn't know that? They executed 4 of our citizens.
Why?
For drug trafficking. We wanted to extradite them. They're like, no, they're in our country. We can do whatever the fuck we want. They don't respect Canada.
Oh.
So they murdered 4 citizens, okay?
4 on the same
4.
charge, or like part of the same group or separate?
Same group.
What does that change?
Curious, just wondering.
Either way, the whole point is the news media here was so flabbergasted, going crazy over tariffs, bro, which are serious, but not as serious as the death of a citizen. Nothing. They don't want to anger China.
Radio silence.
It's fucking wild, bro, how stupid this country is. And then people, Trump, no one. Same thing with the Canadian flags. If you had a Canadian flag, you're a racist, you're this, or that. And then now magically Canadian flags are a thing again.
Oh, yeah. You know, the people in positions of leadership in this country are such scum fucks that, like, I don't even fucking pieces of shit. And including a lot of the people that live in this country, they're so dumb and they just eat everything up, the media says. They eat everything
Human
up.
rights groups voice concerns after Canadians executed in China.
Were they, by any chance, Quebecois?
Oh, no, I hope not. The BBC. So the Big Black Cock says that 4 Canadians were executed in China on drug-related charges earlier this year. Canadian authorities have confirmed finally. All of them were dual citizens, and their identities have been withheld, so we don't know. That's what Mélanie Joly said. A spokesperson for the Chinese embassy and Canada urged Ottawa to stop making irresponsible remarks. Like, they're like, stop talking about this. And Canada's like, they're Canadian citizens, bro. And another country that have murdered them is telling you, shut the fuck up.
That's crazy.
China's foreign minister said, in accordance with the law, their law in China, while the embassy said there was solid and sufficient evidence for their crimes. Beijing had fully guaranteed the rights and interests of the Canadian nationals concerned, the embassy said, urging Canada to respect China's judicial sovereignty. So China told them, yeah, we're going to respect your laws. And then they're like, but we're going to respect we're a sovereign nation. We also have laws.
Yeah.
But normally what you're supposed to extradite them. If you have good relations with the country, you extradite
So
them.
we obviously didn't have good relations.
No. No one respects us. You don't understand, this whole thing of Trump is disrespected and we're the good guys is fabrication the media here pulls. No one on the planet respects this country because of Trudeau. But they lie to you in the media and everyone thinks for some reason that Canada dictates what happens in the world. Nobody gives a shit what we do. We've destroyed this country. Our money's not worth anything. Nobody listens to us. China doesn't give a fuck. China just murdered 4 of our people and said, what are you going to do?
We no longer have any power, economic power on the global scale.
Now, here's a very good question. Do you think Kearney might change all that?
No, it's the same team. It's the same people.
I don't know.
This is, you see this thought, this brain?
Okay, guys,
this
I'm
brain
biased.
rot.
I'm
Hold on.
biased.
This brain rot right now, that's why this country, remember
My
I told you the
father
liberals are going to
liked
probably win
Jean
again?
Chrétien.
Poseidon. Remember I told you the liberals might probably win again now? It's because of this.
My father used to like Jean Chrétien,
it's the same face. They're
They're
putting on a different mask on the same face that just raped them, and they're like, he's got a different mask on.
I really hope not. I really hope they're pulling Kamala Harris on us and people don't fall for it. For real.
We'll see.
I really hope. And
But this is what we're dealing with. These guys vote.
Please, by the way, this election, do not vote. Seriously.
I haven't voted in years.
Good. Keep it that way. And then you have the other conservative leader running. All of a sudden, this guy came out of left field and apparently he's there just to split the vote and shit. What's his name, bro?
The PPC,
Polyev?
Max Bernier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how he said it. For people who don't know, Maxime Bernier, years ago during the pandemic, he was scheduled to appear on the Pantelis podcast.
Oh, I
And
remember.
being the man who he is, he forgot and didn't show up. And then we called him. He was just confused. So then people asked me, like, you're like, should we reschedule him? And I was like, no, don't fucking reschedule him. That's insane. That's insane behavior. Like I want to be in charge of the country, but I overslept, forgot where I was going, forgot where I am. No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of fucking crazy. He's always wearing like wacky shirts and shit.
Yeah. So I was like, you know, the guy clearly has no idea what the fuck's going on. I don't want him on the show anymore. But I think he's doing Rogan this week.
Oh.
You might end up regretting that, right? Oh, I could have had him, but Rogan has him.
Me? Why would I regret that? I just said that I would have had him a few years ago and I didn't have him. I don't think he's going to be late for Rogan.
Imagine he is. So the podcast starts. Rogan, I'm terribly sorry. I thought you were still in California.
Joe's like, how are you going to run a country?
I thought you were still in California. I went to LA. Fuck, I went to. Shit, hold on. I gotta blow my nose again. Fuck.
Adam, on that subject, you can go blow a dude just so you can feel at home too.
I'm going to say something which I think I might actually warrant some credit for intelligence.
Oh, shit.
Canadian voters are fucking stupid, according to the logic that you're presenting to me, right? If they vote in liberals and we don't have a very good world image at the world level, right?
Yeah. Adam, you do realize that you literally moments ago just said you're going to vote liberal again for Carney.
I didn't say that. I asked you, can he fix the situation?
And then you start saying, "It's my. What am I gonna do? I got to. My dad voted for Kreche. I gotta.
Yeah,
Just
well, I'm not as influenced as you think by him. I was just making that as a reference.
look at what
So you
sucks is
vote based off of who your father voted?
Okay, how about this? Do you think there's a better party that'll run the country better? I think they're all subpar.
Look, the truth is,
fucked no matter what.
no. The truth is,
they're all trash.
I don't like politicians.
Yeah, they're all trash.
Yeah.
They're all. I believe all politicians
Let's be honest. Like,
are fucking snakes.
yeah, let's not play this NDP conservative. They're all
Even
garbage.
the good ones.
Yeah. The only thing I want to see is I want the conservatives to win if they promise to cut taxes at least. If you cut taxes, let people take their money so then people have time to plan and then get the fuck out of this country. That's the only thing.
bro, it's
Any
insane.
other political position, I'm not going to take. I don't trust them on. I don't trust them on war. I don't trust them because they're fueling wars around the world now with the Ukraine. No, like Trudeau, they don't want to talk peace. So fuck all these politicians. Whichever politician says I'm going to let people keep their money, that's the one that I'm going to vote for.
Like considering the state of the world.
Because they can't fix the schools, they can't fix the fucking hospitals, they can't fix shit. So let me keep my money. At least.
For real, my ultimate goal now is just move away from society. I've been watching celebrities in their houses. And you know what they do, bro? They just buy farmland out in the middle of fucking nowhere. They get satellite internet. They become fully self-sufficient. They build nice little greenhouses
Like
for
Brock
the
Lesnar.
vegetables. Yeah, like Brock Lesnar, bro. They have the little aminals, raising little aminals, you know, their families, this, that. And they just come into the city for work and they fuck off. Like, that is the best lifestyle, bro.
Wow.
So amazing. Who you know the guy that was the ghoul in Fallout show? What's his name, bro, that actor?
Yeah, I like that actor a lot.
He's in the White Lotus.
Dude, he's
amazing.
He plays everything amazing.
Yeah. He's in the White Lotus
Yeah.
season 3 also. He's a very fantastic actor.
He's one of the most underrated actors, I find.
Yeah, and I only ever, you know when I noticed him, bro? I noticed him in Fallout.
No, I noticed him in I noticed him on a lot of stuff, but I think Vice Principals is where I was like, oh shit.
Well, I haven't seen too many movies with him.
It's a show.
Okay.
It's on Crave. You're gonna love it. It's with McBride. Danny McBride. It's another Danny McBride show, like The Righteous Gemstones, East
Whose
Down
bride
and
is
Down.
he?
Get out.
But I noticed him in Fallout. I'm like, fuck, I've seen this guy so many times. I Googled him. Bro, he's been in a lot of shit that I've actually watched.
He plays a good trans.
Yeah.
He played a trans in Nip Tuck.
I don't know that movie, but
It's a show. It was a show.
Oh, he was a trans in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, he's a good trans, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he has like slight features and he's a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's a great actor, dude. He's kind of like Gary Oldman. They're both chameleons.
Yeah, and he has a house, beautiful cottage out of the city, bro. And I was watching another musician's house, beautiful house, bro. That's what these guys do is they make their money and they fuck off. And they
That's the
come in for
dream.
work. Like, man, I don't even want to live in the
So
fucking
your dream
city
is to
anymore.
go kill Brock Lesnar and take over his farm?
My dream is to live like Brock Lesnar. Like
Buy someone next to him.
off the grid. No, that's not the point.
It's a joke.
It's a shitty joke.
No, it was a good joke. It was fine. Leave him alone. Why are you getting so aggressive?
But yeah, man, just fucking. That's it. That's the lifestyle. I like when I was younger. You would have asked me. I would have answered like every other fucking idiot. Oh, I want the mansions, the houses, the cars, the this, the girls. I still want the cars, but that's because I'm passionate about cars. I want to be like Jay Leno. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not because I want to flash, but
You
because
still
I like
want the house, but a bigger one. And the girls, you still want them so they could greet the boys when they come see you. I get you.
No, but like fuck, like my goal has changed so much from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I hope so.
It's day and night. Like I look
Your
at my
goals when you were a kid was don't shit yourself in public.
and
And those didn't change till like 5 years ago.
shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. And yeah, man, it's just fuck, bro.
Adam,
Yes.
let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What about you, Sonny? What would you do?
Well, you know what? I did think about it a little bit.
Oh.
Now maybe it's a little bit narrow-minded.
The
but my
vessel can form an opinion.
my mentality goes like this. Would it not be nice to have, and I'm being conservative with the amount, let's say $250,000 saved up, so that by the time you reach 60, you can pay. You know, you have enough money to
Adam, my son, you managed to disappoint me once more. Adam, how much money can you save up in a month?
Doesn't matter that the numbers don't add up. It's the principle.
Adam, you will need to keep saving for another. Let me calculate this here.
800 years.
Devil calculator. 942 years. That doesn't make any sense. Adam, I have an idea. Sex trafficking. Adam, you need to join a male brothel. You will give the ladies what they want. A shy, nerdy accountant that they can sexually abuse.
Repeatedly.
They'll call you Nerdy McDick Swing. Yeah, giggle like that. Tell Daddy how you like it.
So you think $250,000 is a lot of money?
I did say in the first part of the sentence that it's a conservative amount, but I believe in being conservative.
And what do you think?
A non-conservative would be 1 or 2 million, obviously.
What do you think you can do with $250,000?
Well, I have done my number crunching, okay? My share of number crunching. I'm not going to go into all the calculations, but if you figure you're going to live another 20 years, let's say, from the time you retire, you divide the amount of money that you saved divided by 20, there you go.
And $250,000 is how much per year on 20 years?
Maybe 20,000?
12,500.
20.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, you can't survive on 12,000 a
well,
year.
you're still getting your pension and all that, so then it'll be a little higher.
What
300?
pension? People already don't. The pension's not covering anything now. It just gets less and less. We've destroyed the economy because of people like you who vote for Trudeau. We've destroyed the economy. There is no pension. You guys are morons. You understand that? You guys shoot yourselves in the fucking foot and then you blame everyone else.
Wow. What do you want me to tell you?
Dude, $250,000. Maybe if...
Well, hold on.
Maybe
You'd have to know
60
my
years ago,
financial situation.
$250,000 went a long way.
You would have to know what kind of financials, you know. You were talking about that earlier. I probably would live in the country where it's much cheaper.
This is why your father's business went bankrupt and got audited.
Because of my beliefs, so what am I going to do?
Because of your stupid calculations.
That is true.
Dude, you literally thought 250,000 divided by 20 years was
$20,000.
was
Okay, I'm off by
25,000.
100,000.
What?
I'm off.
What?
20,000 a year times 20 years is 400. Okay, I said $250,000.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not-
double. You're off by double.
Almost
That's 100% off.
80%.
That's insane. That's the worst accounting. It's completely off.
Oh, how about this? 15,000, 20 years, 300. Anyway, there's no need to go into all these details. I don't know. You guys asked me what some of my goals were. Well, at least, you know, I'm not.
Yeah, what are some of your hopes and dreams,
Yeah,
goals?
what are your
What do you
goals?
want to
Yeah,
achieve
that's a
in
good
life?
Yeah, you know what my father used to say? He says, worry
Get
about
your
that
hand out
once
of
you
there.
have a career. He says, worry about that once you have a career and you're earning money.
Adam, you're 57 years old. This is stuff you should have done. Like, this is crazy. You're talking like you're 16.
How many years?
When I grow up, I'll think of what I want to do.
How many years do you think you have ahead of you? For real, realistically.
I don't want to go past 80, okay? I mean, it's, you know.
But you're lucky if you make it past tomorrow.
Okay.
Dude, you're bleeding from your anus.
That's
You
a
don't
fact.
have the healthiest of diets.
Guys, let me also add one more thing. I'm not changing the subject.
You're zero physically
The
fit.
fact that I was on house arrest, you know that I'm not playing
You
any
have a
games
criminal
here.
record.
I am not playing any games and I'm not making any jokes about this. Are you guys aware of the fact that if you're on a sentence from the court, which doesn't last like a week, let's say, it has psychological effects on you, eh?
Yes.
You know, you can't leave your
Yeah,
home.
because
You know,
psychologically,
leave
hold
me.
on. Because psychologically, you were top notch before the arrest. Okay. But what are you trying to say? You're trying to say that the reason why, I'm just curious.
Yes.
The reason why your life is currently going at the same level that it was before the arrest is because of the arrest.
I wouldn't dispute that. You know? Okay.
I would, because you were doing the same thing you were before the arrest.
It took me some time to
For $40.
get. Hold on.
So one of the cables I think is loose over there. I want to know which one.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You know
carry
what?
on.
I'll even provide an explanation.
Sure.
I have no reason. I can't see any reason why you guys would want to doubt me. When I was younger, I did a lot of traveling. I actually calculated that I was in the States something like 25 times.
What does that have to do with what you're telling us?
It plays a little bit on your psyche. I can't travel anywhere. You know, well, if I travel, I could get, that's a violation of that would have been a violation of my parole. So it's a little bit of my habits. It has to do with my habits. That's all I'm saying.
So I just want to understand if I understand correctly. You're blaming the courts for the psychological trauma that you're suffering by.
minor level.
Hey, look at me. I'm talking. Don't fucking interrupt me.
No problem.
You're blaming the courts
Yes.
for the psychological trauma caused by the fact that your criminal record that you were arrested for the fellation of the woman in the parking lot is stopping you from traveling abroad to countries that won't allow you to travel due to your criminal record, right? But before you were arrested, if we remember correctly, before you had house arrest, you were not exactly a seasoned traveler. You hadn't traveled in like a decade, you had told us. And then now that it's
Less than a decade, 5 years.
whatever, where did you travel to 5 years before? Another country?
I was in New York State.
There you go. You drove across the border. Very nice. You could still drive, but the other way, you could go to Toronto. And we were talking about right now about there's no money anyway. You have no money. So even if you hadn't gone arrested, the life that you're living, you wouldn't be able to afford to fucking travel anyway. So it has nothing to do. The reason why you're not traveling has nothing to do with the courts and your stress. It has to do with your financial situation. Because if you were financially stable right now, you would still travel to countries that allow you to travel, right?
Yeah, I see your point. So, okay, how about this? You're pointing out that my logic is a little flawed, and that's fine.
I'm pointing out that you're trying to trick the government into some kind of weird situation where you're blaming them for your misfortunes, where even though the government is responsible for many misfortunes, in this case, Mr. Falache, you brought this on yourself. And I hate it because I love you and I want you to do well, but the truth of the matter is you did bring it on yourself. For fellation, for the house arrest the fellation that led to the house arrest, all that stuff, wasting your money on those Pakistanis that pretend they were women, sending them all your money that you should have saved up. It's true. So, like, you're the only one to blame for all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
No one forced you to send the Pakistani guy your money? You thought, you didn't listen to us. We told you it was fake and you got mad at us. Remember when you got mad at us?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got so angry. And frankly, I'm so tired of your bullshit. Just listening to you speak, oh my God. It's like the ramblings of
A madman.
it's not even
Okay,
dumb. It's
let
so
me- let me
like
me approach this
hold
a little
on,
bit-
stop. People with Down syndrome have more cohesion than you, and they admit more
False.
being at fault for things. Like, it's so insane how you got to. I don't understand how you got to this level of denial and self brainwashing into thinking you were some career man who traveled the world. What are you saying, you fucking idiot?
Okay. Give me a chance. If you believe in fairness, you're going to give me a chance.
All right, I'm listening.
I'm sorry if this may have happened to someone else, and I hope it didn't, but I don't know how many other people's fathers passed away whereby they were like slated as the right-hand man in their company, okay?
Okay.
And I don't have to say this over and over and over again. He could have had a company that was worth $250,000. Let's be conservative, right? I was slated to be somebody in that company.
Right.
Now, it's unfortunate. I don't hold grudges against my father. He passed away. But that caused me a huge backlash.
Because you thought the job you were
Setback,
going to
you
have
mean.
a setback.
Thank you.
You thought that's the job you were going to have, and you ended up you couldn't have that job because it didn't exist.
You know, so
But
I
part of-
have
but
to
hold on,
learn
hold on,
what-
hold on,
I have
hold
to
on.
man up.
That's
and
But I
was
will
4
say
years of
something.
age,
You
by the way.
realize that that's not. You're not seeing it correctly because even though your dad gave you that, right? Clearly, you weren't capable of running it. So whether your accounting errors initially burnt it to the ground, or your errors in the future would have burnt it to the ground, there's no way you'd have been able to manage that company. Am I wrong?
Better, okay, can I please tell you you're partially wrong?
Adam,
I will tell you
Adam.
with 1,000 level of confidence
Adam.
the following information. If my father was of a sane and non-sick mind, he would have been fine with me, okay?
Adam, you're
Positive.
barely in charge of your own life, and people take advantage of you. on a regular basis. And these people that take advantage of you have an IQ level of 62. What makes you think you were going to manage a company and people weren't going to take advantage of the fucking company? You listen to how you speak. You can't even handle street level buffoons.
Street level buffoonery did get the better of you.
them, so that's not entirely true.
But they still robbed you. They still took money from you.
You did house arrest.
They still manipulated you. And you think the guy who has an engineering degree is not going to run circles around you? Use your head for a second.
1 second. Just a single one.
You know what? The more I talk, the more I'm going to embarrass myself. Let's
You're not embarrassing
You're
yourself.
not
We're just
embarrassing
having a
yourself. You're
discussion.
just not being honest with yourself.
It should be honest.
I'm conceding what you're telling me, but only to a certain extent. Okay?
Exactly.
I was on the street. Actually, let's look at this in terms of a sequence of events. I ended up meeting these buffoons, as you call them, because of the fact that my father had passed away and that I had to find a way to
You
support
keep blaming
myself.
other
You can't
people.
blame that.
People's
You
fathers
can't
passed away. You
blame
can't
that.
say my dad passed away. So then I met these dudes and I got into drug trafficking. But that's nothing to do with your father. You can't blame everyone else.
That's insane.
Your father said when I pass away, give your money to these buffoons. No. So why are you blaming him?
Well, the environment was slightly different. I was working for him. I was in an office. I didn't hang around with these buffoons.
I get it, but how old were you when your father passed away?
40.
You exactly. Hold on. You were 40. You weren't some fucking child. You weren't 15 who fell with the wrong crowd. You were 40 years old, and you're blaming your dad for dying at 90. And then you joined the bad crowd. They made me fillet a woman in a parking lot. You were 40. 40. Adam, if at 40 you don't know how not to commit crimes, not to fall with the wrong crowd and get manipulated, how the fuck would you run a multi-million-dollar company? What are you talking about?
Oh, man.
So stupid.
There are and the fact that you're blaming your father's death, it's so low. There are people that have come out of slave situations.
Yeah.
And Ganu was a slave.
Really?
An MMA fighter. He was working in the fucking the sand mines, bro. Down in
What was
Africa.
this? He was getting paid, bro. It was a great job.
No, it
Benefits.
wasn't, bro. He was basically a slave. What, $2 a day? This guy fucking, and then he escaped. He made it all the way to fucking Europe, and then made it all and he became an MMA fighter.
Started fighting people, punched them in the face. How come you don't fight people?
You know, he's a multimillionaire. How the fuck are you gonna blame your circumstances when this man escaped the lowest of the low you could be in life?
I wouldn't call black people that, but go on.
Stop. You know what I mean? The man escaped slavery, bro. He escaped fucking slavery. Then you have this fucking moron over here
He's talking about you.
sitting here spewing, well, because my father died.
At 40, you were 40.
You're such a fag.
Yeah, the way you said it sounded like you were 8 and he hadn't trained you yet on how to take over the company. You were 40. You were burning through that company money for years already before you
There's
died.
a woman that escaped North Korea.
Yeah.
And she's thriving in the United States.
And she's a woman with huge knockers.
Oh.
It's true. She does have huge
She
knockers.
escaped North Korea.
On 2 flotation devices.
And made it all the way to the US. And you're going to blame the death of your father?
Oh, man. I said it last time. Okay, guys, this is where I'm kind of not. I'm on both sides of the fence. First of all, I think to myself that I'm manning up, but you're thinking something else.
That is so disrespectful to your father. Bro, if my grown-up sperm ever said those words or ever spoke like you, I'd come back from the dead and beat the shit out of him with a table. It's so insane. What about his father or my
dad.
father?
Yeah. Dead beats. You know beats, but the dead ones.
I guess it's a good idea not to go into the conversation any further. Okay, you've made your point.
Just admit
Adam,
that
you
what
gotta
you're
man up.
saying is
Adam,
lunacy. Man up for once.
Let me say something serious. This is on the intellectuals, but this is the most serious thing I've ever told you on the intellectuals.
Go ahead.
You have 2 roads ahead of you. Well, 3 roads ahead, but I hope you don't choose a third one. You have 3 roads ahead of you. Number 1, you continue in the path that you have right now, which is don't take any accountability for your actions. You keep repeating the same mistakes, getting the same results, and just being, hey, what am I going to do? I filleted the woman in the parking lot, so now I have to keep all that stupid shit and blame everyone but yourself. And you're going to get the same results that you get today. You're going to get the same results within 10 years. You're going to be at the same spot you are in 10 years at the Station de Sport, jerking tourists off for fucking rent money. Okay. Or door number 2, which is you go, you know what? It ends today. Starting tomorrow, I'm new Adam. My focus, finding a better job, not blaming anyone for my misfortunes, becoming the goddamn best podcaster that ever came out of this fucking city. Everything I love, I'm putting my energy in that. I'm not being lazy anymore. I'm working super hard. I have 2 jobs. Fuck it. I'm getting 3 jobs. I'm getting 4. I'm getting out of this. I'm going to scam the Pakistanis. The Pakistanis aren't going to scam me. No, for real. Like, just shake everything up. Or the 3rd route where you become a sex offender. I would say personally, I want to see you go down road number 2.
I guarantee you 3 is not going to be the road I'm going to go down.
Okay, thank you.
But road number 2, like, dude, you have all this free time also. You have 2 jobs now. Why don't you get an online certification for something?
Yeah.
Why don't you read a little instead of just watching movies and circle jerking with your landlord?
Let me tell you about a book that I'm reading, actually.
Nice.
Do you guys know who Bruce Dalbigin is?
No.
He's an author. He wrote a book in the 90s called The Defense Never Rests. It's got to do with the NHLPA and how they're just these ballooning prices that hockey players make. I don't know why you're giving me that reaction. There's
Because
knowledge.
I feel like it's gambling related.
No. It's the business side of hockey. I recommend you guys look at it too.
So then why don't you go into something like a certification for sports, for hockey? Something to do with hockey. Why don't you go... No, that's a bad idea. I was going to say, why don't you go drive the Zamboni? But that's a terrible idea for him. But like, why don't you
Because I'm not a good driver.
No, but why don't you go do something with the NHL? Why don't you go look up courses that you... Google ways I can work in the NHL or for a hockey team.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys...
You could do... Like, dude, water boys are all autistic as fuck. And
Yeah,
they
you
make
could totally
what?
bang them.
They make what? No, but for real, how much were they making, bro? Like 75 grand a year?
75 grand a year or something, yeah.
USD.
That's us. It's a currency.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, there's stuff out there that you can do that is not... Like, you limit yourself so much to... And instead of blaming yourself, you blame your father, you blame house arrest, you blame the government.
It's a subconscious
You do blame the Jews a
thing.
lot.
It's not a subconscious thing, it's conscious. You speak it.
The reason why everyone gets emotional with you is because people actually like you. You're not a bad person.
Right.
You're just an asshole. So people like you. So everyone wants you to win. I don't know anyone that wants you to lose except for Guido. Guido wants you to lose because you fucked them over. But apart from Guido, because that's a personal vendetta, no one wants you. Everyone wants you to win.
Yeah.
You understand? You're in a good position. Everyone wants you to win. Everyone wants to help you. But you have to start by helping yourself.
Yeah.
Number 1, stop gambling.
Absolutely. 100%.
I heard you were at the casino again a few days ago.
Adam, if you get a nice little job for the NHL or the Canadiens, the Montreal Canadiens, and you're there and you're working your little job, you're making your little $60K a year, you find yourself a nice little apartment at $1,000 a month.
I was also going to
happy?
tell you about something
No,
that can
but
actually happen.
answer.
A security
Actually,
guard was another job I wanted to do.
What?
A security guard.
What are you going to secure, Adam? We saw you punch last time. You can't secure shit. What are you talking about?
Half those people don't even know how to fight.
I know, but it doesn't show.
Wow. You know,
Adam, I am convinced a toddler could beat you
Let
up.
me tell you something really powerful and moving.
Yes.
There's this bar that I go to sometimes, and there's a guy who goes there. We've gotten to know each other, and he says, "Adam, if you wanted to, you could have been somebody's personal bodyguard. You know, he was a guy's bodyguard."
Okay,
I don't have the psyche. I acknowledge.
No, but you know what, Adam? This is what I love because we're a comedy show at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do this right now. I want to reenact. I'm the guy, and you're Adam, so you don't have to act too much. Hey, Adam, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
So, Adam, I've been taking a look at you, and I just want to say, I don't know if you knew this, but you can actually be a bodyguard for someone. Like,
But let me tell you what I said.
hold on. I think you can guard a body. I'd like you to start by guarding my body. Adam, do you want to come over a little later and just guard my body? We'll guard each other's bodies.
That's not the kind of work that I was seeking.
Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to guard your body. I'm going to make sure nobody gets inside that body but me. And I need you to guard my body because all these chicks keep trying to come for it, but it's your body. I need you to guard my body from these women, Adam. Come guard it. Is that how it went?
No.
Oh,
And
how'd it go?
what did you tell
He
him?
was telling me what martial arts he did and, you know, how it works. And
Adam, you could be a bodyguard. Come guard me while I'm doing karate in the other room. Why does it sound like a Sunny in Philadelphia sketch?
Yeah. And did you believe this person?
You Buddhist karate master.
yeah. We didn't go into what it didn't cross my mind whether he believed. No, hold on.
Adam,
On
No,
account
let
of
him
me
talk.
personally, regardless, I don't care.
Yeah.
In account of what he told me and how he's done it and what your role are, and it's different from a security person,
Yeah.
from a security agent. Yeah, I didn't. We weren't talking about me. I believe that he knew what he was talking about.
I know, but he said that you can be a bodyguard, right?
Yeah.
You can guard that body.
And did you believe it for a second?
Well, okay, let's put it this way. You have to come from a certain. You have to be more aggressive. You have to know, hey, somebody's acting.
What?
If you're Donald Trump's bodyguard, you have to make it space between him.
If you're Donald Trump's bodyguard, you have to be on alert all the time because everyone wants to kill him.
You know?
And you got to be ready to pick up some fucking cheeseburgers from McD's.
And that's without firearms. Like just, you could be guarding somebody important without a firearm. That's,
So would you, if I would find a job for you as a bodyguard, would you take it?
no.
So then why are we talking about this?
Hold on. Why wouldn't you take it? Hold on.
I thought I was going to entertain you and tell you what the story was.
It was.
what-
It's
what the
very entertaining. I
conversation
loved it,
was.
but
Now, why wouldn't you take it?
I'm not. Okay, how about this? Most bodyguards that I know have like black belts and extensive, martial art training. That
You
is
could have
not even
stopped that. You could
close
have
to
stopped
being
that
on the
black.
radar.
Honestly, you could have stopped that black.
It's true, actually.
Well,
Most bodyguards are just really big, actually.
Yeah.
Because bodyguards, what they're there for.
to prevent trouble,
No, the real reason.
I don't know if you want to tell me your experience
To
on the
catch
matter.
a bullet.
Oh, I see.
That's the
Adam,
real reason.
I'm looking over here.
When you sign up for these jobs, one of your main jobs is to catch a bullet intended for the person that you're guarding.
Okay.
That's
you're,
why
you're
they-
talking to me at the elite levels. I'm talking about
No,
could be
not just
professional
elite
hockey
levels.
players, bodyguard.
Anything in general. That's why there's That's why they take big dudes, and that's why they take strong dudes. Yeah, the crowd stuff. Yeah, but the main thing, you can handle a crowd all you want, but if somebody shoots at you from afar, you can't do nothing. So they hire all these big dudes because, they're a bigger target.
I don't know how to say this. I really wonder how much self-respect these people have. If they know that they could get shot and killed.
They have a lot of self-respect and they have a lot of honor. It's a very honorable job to do that pays extremely well.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the money. If they
Extremely
weren't for the
well.
money, they probably wouldn't do it.
Like we're talking $250,000 a year on the low end.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And these people train like maniacs to be able to do this job, and it's a very honorable job and stressful job. It's long hours, so it has the self-respect is there because they get paid a lot to do it. They have a specialty that frankly not many people can do in the world. If we're being honest, less than 1% of the people can do a job like that.
Wow.
Don't
you think it'd be a little bit more appropriate to say you don't know what you're up against? Keep dreaming. I mean,
No,
What do you mean?
do it?
No.
Well, one.
Okay.
and
I'll
correct
give you
me
an
if I'm
example.
wrong.
I'll give you an
Fine,
example.
Donald
Hold
Trump's
on.
bodyguard. I'm
Sea
sure he's got a
welders.
black belt.
Sea welders. They
Yes.
work 6 months out of the year.
Okay.
How much do you think they make a year? Sea welder. You know what welding is?
Like on a car, but it's
to weld metal.
okay. But on a boat, not a.
But underwater, sea
okay.
welders.
Oh,
It's-
okay,
they
that's how I
usually work
figured.
for oil tankers. Not oil tankers, but what do you call those
Okay,
fucking
I'm
things?
sure they make 6 digits. I know that.
No, they make $1 million a year and they
wow.
work 6 months. Now,
wow.
this is one of the jobs with the highest risk of death. Do you think they don't have self-respect?
Until you explained it to me, now it makes sense. I didn't realize. May I parallel the word self-respect with not making it a big deal that their lives may be at risk at any given moment? While
I
they
think
work?
it's a big deal that your life is at risk.
Listen, we can't read their minds, okay? I don't know. Okay, but let me ask you something. Which way is this conversation going? Poseidon clearly just said 1%. I don't know if it was you, Pantelis. 1%. Yeah, Poseidon said it. 1%
Less
of
than.
people. Let's be conservative and say 1%. So am I in that 1%?
Of people that can be bodyguards.
Of course not.
Yeah, you're not
We'll
even.
talk about in 5 years if I get a,
You're not even close. You're on the opposite end. You're on the 1% of the people that will never even come close to that 1%.
So you guys are obviously just playing with me by even suggesting it, right?
No, but why bring it up? Why even entertain the idea?
Well,
Like, I'm not gonna go become a fucking nurse, bro.
I have a feeling even you probably could not see yourself being a bodyguard like that.
What do you mean?
If I didn't have, I've considered it. If I didn't have other aspirations, I would do it.
Okay, well, okay. I'm not even sure how to.
But
express
even
myself
me,
properly.
who has the size
And the sexual aptitudes?
and the aggressiveness to do that, even I am not as close to the guys that do it. Even the competition is so insane. Like, you have to be so. Have you seen these guys? Bring up footage of bodyguards. I think it was Lionel Messi's bodyguard, bro. This guy, bro, was like the Terminator, scanning the
I'd
entire
also
arena
like to bring
like
up-
this. Bzz, 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 bzz. Like, do you know how aware of your surroundings you have to be? You have to be so awake and aware, and not do drugs. You have to be clean. So you can't do cocaine to be up
Can
or
you
whatever.
smoke cigarettes?
No, you can't. Well, yeah.
How
I guess.
often do you smoke cigarettes?
I don't.
Exactly.
I'm just
You know? But you have to be so there
Yeah.
at all 99% of the time. You can't even slip up once, dude.
Or you'll lose your job.
You'll end up either dead
Oh.
Yeah.
or the person you're protecting will end up dead, and then you're never going to be hired again.
Yeah, that's true. You'll be blacklisted for life.
Have you ever thought of becoming a physiotherapist?
No.
Bro, he cannot do that job. Come on, bro.
I was like,
Come on, bro.
I don't know why it was on the
Yeah,
list.
but I was gonna go further with this, Poseidon. If you got into an MMA fight with George St. Pierre, you don't think he'd kick
I
the
would
shit out of
probably
you?
lose, yeah.
Thank you. That's another reason you're like
Yeah.
slightly overlooking.
Yeah, no, but
You'd have to be in the
here's
best
the
shape of
thing.
your life.
You're asking me this question to make me feel shitty. But the thing is, I don't feel shitty because I'm being honest. It's what you fail to do is you fail to be honest with yourself.
Honesty is the best
That's the
policy.
problem we're trying to address.
Yeah. Well,
And frankly, GSP, the moment I start farting, it doesn't stand a chance. Let's just say he's locked in there with me. I'm stinking up the octagon.
Hey, buddy, wash your ass.
so how about this? I'm on the other side of the spectrum. Before I had no aspirations, and now I have aspirations that are a little over my
What
head.
is
right?
what is one of your aspirations? What is something you always wanted to do?
Okay, before we
As
got
a
into
kid.
really funny,
Remember career
I
day
was
when
telling
you were
about being a
5 years
security
old?
guard.
No, we're in the career
I don't
day.
remember.
For real, what was one of your first? I'll tell you one of my first jobs I wanted to do.
Go ahead.
Firefighter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he
I
turned
thought it
into
looked
fire
cool.
starter.
Okay, Pantelis, let me see
Hey.
if I can ask you the question a second time around. Does it, in your best opinion, does it or does it not, or should it not affect my psyche, the fact that I have a criminal record? All of those jobs, I'd be denied. I can't work as a firefighter because I have a record. All these employers will look you up.
Well, you think they're going to think because you have a record, you're going to start a fire instead of putting it out?
I'm just saying, like now, before my hands were tied, now they're really, before my hands were only somewhat tied, now they're really tied. Does that make sense?
Yes and no at the same time. I mean,
Well,
I feel like it is what it is. So just try your best to find jobs. Like you can't not try. What's the point? You can't just give up. You have aspirations. You have dreams. You have goals. You already said it. You want to fucking
Yeah.
travel.
What is one of your? So you just want to travel?
okay.
You like
This
traveling?
is something that I need to think about on a long-term base, for a while. I can't answer you in 10 seconds. This is what I want to, and I need some time to think about that. Now, I'm hoping you guys are willing to at least somewhat concede. I do have that. I have 2 jobs right now. Okay. So I think
Yeah.
I'm entitled to some self-respect.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right. I agree.
Thank
You're
you.
right.
Thank you.
You're paying taxes finally. So it's commendable. You're trying your best. I will give you that for not what life has given you, but for the way life made you.
Adam, you could be a Canadian Coast Guard, it says here. There's a Canadian Coast Guard officer training program. Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to tell you guys right away. I don't like jobs like that because they make you work with firearm.
Okay, what kind of job are you looking for?
You think you could be a pilot?
I did think about that, but it scares me a little
You
bit.
thought about becoming a pilot? Fuck me.
They make some good money. That bar that I go to, there was a
Bro,
pilot.
it's like talking to my father sometimes. Talking
Sometimes.
to Adam is like talking to my father. Except you're not good with your hands. Well, you're good with your hands, but not
Yeah, his
for
dad used
build.
to jerk him off under the table.
Yeah, like you. Wait, what?
He used to jerk you
Like
off.
you're good with your hands for jerking dudes off, but my dad's good with his hands for building stuff. Although it doesn't look very safe afterwards, but regardless, he's still a handyman.
Is there some way we can move on to another subject, please?
Yes, Poseidon. Right now, I'm looking online for jobs that Adam can do
Yeah.
in the government. Adam, there's a job here called Manager of Indigenous Relations.
Oh, wow.
It says here, Canadian Radio and Television Telecommunications Commission, various vocations. For further information, visit this. Okay, important message. They're equal opportunities, even if you have mental problems, so you're good. The following will be applied. Bilingual is imperative. You are bilingual, right?
Yes.
The position requires
Speaking
proficiency of both official languages at the above mentioned level. However, in accordance with Section 16(1) and 2, the Public Service Employment Regulations, and employees may be exempted from meeting. Anyways, you don't need to be exempt. Education, graduation with a degree from a recognized post-secondary institution. That's fine. At the manager's discretion, significant experience in building relationship within organizations and with, well, that's you. Significant note 2, experience in communicating or engaging with indigenous parties. You're always that kind of walkie. You're always playing at the casino. You have that. Create vision and strategy. Mobilize people. Uphold integrity and respect. Collaborate with partners and stakeholders. Promote innovative and guide change. Achieve results. Shit, I might even apply. I'm good for this. I'll get the natives on the radio. Yeah, we could do this. Preference will be given to veterans first and then to Canadian citizens, as if they're not Canadian citizens, and permanent residents. With the exception of a job located in Nunavut or Nunavut, Inuit will be appointed first because nobody wants to move there. All right, I got it. Adam, how do you feel?
I don't know what to say, to tell you the truth.
All right.
I like staying where I am, though. That's
The jobs that you have, you mean?
yeah. No, I like staying in the city that I am. If the government offered me a job like that here, well,
You would take it.
maybe.
Oh, there's a
but-
surveillance officer for CSIS.
But let me ask you, what if you moved to Nunavut and worked like 8 months out of the year there? You'd have your food paid, your room paid, everything's paid for. You don't have to pay nothing. Just show up to work.
Let me please end it off with this. These are things that I need time to think about, okay? It's that simple. I can't say yes, 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 no, 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 no. You know, these are things that need time to process in my brain.
Of course, yeah.
Did you see this thing on about the pyramids?
Bro, it's so wild.
Yo, that's crazy. I have a theory as to what they are, those
I'm
cylinders.
listening.
Staircases.
Well, it's not a theory. They're saying that one of the things it might be is it looks like there's staircases all around.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that part.
You know, you saw those staircases? Yeah, you know, I think they are what staircases.
No, because I didn't hear that part. They were talking about how it's cylindrical and stuff. But
And
there's like
there's a staircases running all around them.
yeah, and there's rooms and everything. It's crazy, yeah. What do you think they were doing down there?
It's not what they were doing. It's that's impossible for them to have built the way we know them. So either that's super older with better technology, or there's something crazy happening.
Do you think they came? and
Or the
they-
Italians don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's two Italian guys that did the radar. What do Italians know about that shit, bro? Fucking
theory. What if the pyramids were a cover up for this?
The Sopranos?
What?
Woke up this morning, got myself a slave.
No. What if the Egyptians, okay? You know how the government tries to cover shit up all the time here?
Uh-huh.
And then, they build on top of it and blah, blah, blah. What if, like, back in ancient Egypt, they
I
had...
don't think you're understanding it's so funny to see this happening. You don't understand why people are shocked. It's not because there's something built on top of something else. That's not why they're shocked.
No,
We
no,
built
no,
stuff.
but wait, you're not
why they're
following.
shocked is how big those cylinders are. Supposed to be 2 kilometers down, all the way to the bedrock.
Yes.
There's no way they built that with the technology that we know they had.
Even in today's standards, it would be
That's
very
why.
difficult.
That's why it's just insane.
So what if those pyramids were to keep something in?
What do you mean?
What if the whole point of those
And the pyramids, if they keep something in, then they would have been under. They would have been under.
No, but they built the pyramids. You know how to cover up what was under. What if the Egyptians arrived and everything under the pyramid was already constructed and built? Do you see where I'm going with this?
It's dumb, but I kind of see it.
Let's say it was some kind of crazy underground base or whatever.
Okay.
You know how the U.S. government has underground bases and shit all the
they
time?
had an underground Egyptian
What
base.
if like a civilization prior to the Egyptians had underground bases there and shit, and then the Egyptians they came and they're like, "Yo, this is crazy. We got to cover this up."
It's not the craziest theory.
And they covered it up with pyramids to distract from the fact of what may be under.
I mean, I'm sure there are dumber theories out there. It is a completely stupid theory, but there are dumber ones. Did you get sick? Are you going to get us all sick?
I'm a little congested, but I don't have an infection. I'm good.
How do we know?
My snots aren't yellow. They're clear.
That's disgusting.
I'm very sorry.
This guy's fucking putting his schnotz everywhere. You're shitting as soon as you walk in. What the fuck's going on? But Adam, did you see what happened with the pyramids?
Yeah, so it was a cover-up. It may have been a cover-up, bro. That's a crazy theory
do
I
know
just
they're
came
one of
up
the
with.
It's a very
Seven-
stupid
seven
theory.
wonders of the
Stop
world.
putting your Kleenex everywhere. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna
Well,
go
hold
throw it
on.
out, don't
It's
worry.
like
What
it's.
do the-
I have.
I'm gonna disinfect.
What-
You and Terry.
What do the experts say?
Don't you dare.
What
Huh?
do the experts say in terms of their claim as to how they were built? I mean, hold on a second. Do we keep the technology? Any building that's built has blueprints, right? Was all that stuff lost?
Bloopers.
Blueprints.
Did you say did we lose the blueprints to the Giza pyramids?
Yes.
I'm gonna check with City Hall. They might still have that. Fucking idiot. Did
they
they?
still have
That's
the
the greatest thing you've
blueprints?
ever said in your life. Did
That's
they lose the
crazy.
blueprints? Yeah, they did. Sadly, they lost the blueprints.
I blame the burning of the
Library of Alexandria
yeah
is filled with blueprints.
from how they built pyramids.
Yeah. Crazy, yeah.
And some of the other ones, Cleopatra shoved them in their pussy.
That's just offensive.
That's what happened.
Adam, have you heard of Cleopatra?
Yes, of course. She was the ruler.
Of
I think she was. I'm not sure.
Say it
Egypt
with
or
me.
the Roman Empire, one of the two.
Jamaican, but you were close. She was
Sorry.
Jamaican.
I was studying her. I was.
Cleopatra Bumbaglat.
What the hell was she? I don't remember his name, but one of the Roman
Cleopatra.
rulers. She was.
Ooh,
One
the
of,
fine thing over there.
she was the wife of one of the Roman rulers who died
Hear me
of
now,
something
yeah?
when he was.
Hear
I
me
forgot
now.
which one.
What'd
I
you say?
don't know. I don't know if it was
Back Cleopatra about
It
to
was-
blood clot your ass, man.
She was the wife
of one
of
of the
Caesar
Roman.
Milan.
Julius Caesar. Yes.
No, not Julius Caesar. Caesar Milan.
Whatever.
Fuck.
I like how he's like, whatever. Fuck this Caesar Milan.
Hear me now. If you don't sleep with me, Cleopatra, about blood clot your ass now, yeah? Oh, fuck.
That's okay. So yeah, Cleopatra. She was together with Caesar Milan,
Yeah.
and
The inventor of Caesar salad.
no, that was Julius Caesar.
Ah, yes.
Caesar Milan was they used to call him the dog whisperer.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that why, you know,
he had a big dog. He used the dogs. They would all listen to him.
is that why Cleopatra liked him too?
Yeah, no, he wasn't good with cats. But with dogs, he was known as the dog whisperer. Was crazy.
Really?
Yeah, for real. They would listen to him. He would make noises.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, Pantelis, I was wondering if there was some way I could get you to promise me that you're not going to be sarcastic.
I'm not gonna be sarcastic.
Going to be very serious in terms of answering my question, okay?
Yeah.
The Liberal Party today is a joke, okay?
Yeah.
What went wrong? They were around 30 years ago and they weren't disrespected like this. I'm trying to figure out what went wrong. You know?
I'm not gonna solve that problem here, bro.
Well, you know. Okay, I said it earlier. I have a bias. My father liked Jean Chrétien. Now you were young,
I was
so
trying to figure it out.
yeah. I'm just saying. What the hell can we do to fix this country? I don't care which approach. You
Number
wanna
one,
take.
you got to move, or stop voting,
or both.
or both. Move, and wherever you move, stop voting there too, so you don't fuck them up. Anyways, intellectuals out.
Out.